Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 where we're going to be looking at how to do the half motifs for this lacy scarf. So you can see here these are complete motifs, and in the second row of the scarf, which is this one, you actually have 2 full motifs and 2 half motifs, and this is what we're looking at next. Right, so let's get started. To begin, chain 5. And then in the very first chain, join with a slip stitch. Chain 5. And into the ring and over the tail, work 2 single crochets. Again, chain 5. And into the ring, 2 single crochets. Chain 5. And this will actually give us a total of 3 5-chain loops. And then into that final space, well, it's the loop, do another 2 single crochets, working over that tail end of the yarn. So we've finished with 2 single crochets, yarn over, pull through, and then snip your yarn, leaving a length long enough to weave in, and just pull through. And there you've created the start of your half motif. The half motif has only got 3 loops, whereas the full one had 6. Okay, so as we don't need this little loop anymore, this is what we crocheted over, we can just snip that. We are going to be working over all that anyway when we do the edging. Right, so that's how it looks. That's your first row completed of the half motif. These little ends are ideal to be woven in as you go, but for the purpose of the video, and it's personal preference, just weave them in as and when you prefer. So we're going to be working from this side to this, right to left, and the work will be right side facing you throughout. So we have to snip our yarn on each row. In fact, if we have a little look at the pattern, because if you download it, it might help to work out what needs to be done. So in every second row, which we said, it will be necessary to work exactly half a motif to fill the spaces at each side. And then it says for this, start on the ring centre, putting only 3 loops into it, which we have done, but it doesn't suggest that you make a smaller chain loop. They just assume you know to do that. And then it says, then work on these loops, breaking off the thread at the end of each row after fastening it off neatly, and starting at the beginning again, preserving the pattern of the motif. And that's the instructions they give you for the little half motif. Right, so we need to carry on exactly as we did for the full motif, working the same pattern, which means in each loop we're going to put 3 single crochets. So let's start again with the next row. I like to start by just popping the yarn over my finger and then laying my work over it insert the hook, just pull through, and then yarn over, pull through, and then do a single crochet. Just gently pulling that yarn. Next we need to do another 2 single crochets, so we'll work 2 single crochets more, giving us a total of 3, and as we've worked over that yarn, that's nice and secure. Next we chain 5, just as we did in the first full motif. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done one too many there. And then in the next loop here, work another 3 single crochets. Chain 5. In the next loop, 3 single crochets. Chain 5. And then in that last single crochet, work a single crochet. Then yarn over, pull through, snip your yarn, pull through, give it a little tug, and that is ready to be sewn in. So there we have our 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, and these will be our spaces. Right, we're ready to start our next round now. Same again, lay the yarn over your finger. We always skip the first 2 single crochets just as we did on the main motif, and then work our single crochet just in here. So just pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through, and then work your single crochet back into that space. We can perhaps get those 2 tails and single crochet again in there, just as we did before, and then we need to put 3 single crochets over the 5 chains and over these tail remnants here, and do our 3 single crochets. I'm not making it look very easy, but when you get going, it's not too bad. 2, and then 3, and that's how it looks. Next, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then find the 3rd single crochet along and pop a single crochet in there, and then we're right into the space, so we need to do another 3 single crochets in here. Okay, so just have a little look. Joined here with our single crochet, our 3 single crochets in the space, and we can get rid of these little tails now. If you find it easier to just weave them in rather than working over them, that's also fine. I'm just showing you what I do. And then you can just hide them in there. There we go. So there's our 5 chains, our single, and our 3 singles in the space. We're ready now to do 5 chains, and then skip 2, just as we did before, single in the third, and then 3 singles in the last loop. Chain 5, and then in the single crochet just here, work a single crochet, and yarn over, pull through to fasten off. There we can see now, completed this round. When I first did it, I had all these tails here and all the tails coming from that side. So at least now it's just this one here that you need to weave in. Right, I'm not going to take you through the entire process because it's a repetition just of motif number 1. And as long as you know where you finish off and where you start, that's the key to doing the half motif. So for the next round, you look for your 3rd single crochet and then single crochet in there and the next one, and always put 3 in the space, 5 chains in between, skip 2 single crochets, go into the 3rd and the next one, 3 in the space, 5 chains, and it's just a repetition of motif number 1 until you've got 8 rounds, where that means you've got 8 of these little spaces, and it should look like this. So you've got your first loop, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 spaces. And as you can see, I've weaved in the ends and it looks quite strange, and you'd think, how do I fasten this now into the project? Right, I'll get the original scarf. I'll just put this little bit of cloth back so we can slide the proper little scarf down and I can explain to you how to fit these in. So, right, you can see here that perhaps that's the wrong way. We'll get there in a minute. Right, so this is what would be like the first row here. And then for the second row, have I got this the right way around? Yes, I have. You have the half motifs, but don't forget they've also done an edging, so it looks better. So the half motifs go to either side of the 2 larger motifs, like so. And now I've popped, that's another row of 3. I've popped a half motif just there, and then my other little half motif has disappeared. Here it is. We now need to fit this in here. So you look for where the scrolls end and you match them up just like that, and you connect those. Okay, and that's how it would look. So your little scroll would be connected just as we did on video, the part 1, and they would all connect like that. And here's one that's already connected. You won't have anything to connect to that top little bit here unless you made another motif. I do have another motif here, so I'll just show you what you do. You just pop it on. just bring this down. And you would connect the motifs like so. And then you'd go on with your next 2 motifs. And you make it as long as you like. Right, next we're going to come on to how to do the edging. Now before, I think I explained I'd run out of this yarn, so I'm just going to use a plain white and to start with a little slip knot. Now, for the edging, I would start perhaps just here at the beginning of one of the groups of single crochets. And pop a single crochet in there, and then chain 10. And then it's more or less by eye to pop a single crochet in the middle of the group of single crochets. I think it'd probably be the 5th one because there are 9 single crochets. And once again chain 10. And then at the end, another single crochet. So it works out almost like every 5 chains you're doing a single crochet and 10 chains in between. It doesn't say that in the pattern, but when you look at the picture, that seems to be what they've done. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then we know that this is a chain 5 here. So this will be our first single crochet in here. And you just carry on, single crochet, chain 10, single crochet in the 5th, single crochet along, chain 10, single crochet in the last single crochet. And once again, chain 10 and single crochet here. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, so I'll meet you here in a few secs. So this is what it looks like so far. We've got our 10 chain loops, and in between 5 chains or 5 single crochets, but here it's going to be slightly different. There we can put one at the end, perhaps one here and one there. However, when you look at how they've done it on the pattern, we zoom in, let's have a look, perhaps on, no, it's really difficult. I ended up colouring it in and doing this quite a few times, but here is the, if I get this little thing here, those are the little last loops, and this was where they'd weaved the ends in. And then they've got some 10 chain loops in here, and it says to go into the end of each 10 chain loop, each of the rows with your 10 chain loops, etc, etc. I did try that, but they were too bunched up and it didn't look quite right. So you can see here that 10 chain loops are spaced nice and evenly. Here they're bunched up together and it looks a bit strange. Here it's slightly different. They look a little different here, how it's been worked. So what we can do is, again, oh, and another thing I didn't mention on this half motif, I omitted the very final 5 chain loop and just finished here. So see how you get on. If I have a little look here, you can see. No, not to worry, but you will understand what I mean when, if you look here, you can see there isn't a little portion sticking up, but here there is. so you miss out that 5 chain loop and you finish there. But we'll get round that by just trial and error, I think. So chain 10, and then we're going to work out now where we want our 10 chain loops. So we just take that out and pop. One would be fine just to start with, just here. Perhaps go in there. And then we'll have a look with the next one. Okay, so I think rather than being all bunched up, I do think that would be more than enough. I really do. So just go for that. But it's again, with crochet in the old patterns, it is quite often personal choice. And the ladies or the gentlemen, they could have been gentlemen for all I know, they may have designed it and wanted them closer together. But as they don't say on the pattern, we won't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yep. And then just go into there. I think that'll be fine. Although, if I think about it, we've got a little bump there. We might go into this one here. And do our 10 chains. And there you have. I've popped it just in there. So use your own personal discretion. When you see you have an area that's not got 5 chains or a set of 5 single crochets, just think a loop here, perhaps one there, one going across, and then off you go again because you have your 5 here. So once you've worked out where you'd like to put your chains, I'll start here and we'll look at the last row of the little edging. Okay, so you go back now to the first 10 chain loop you made, and in there just join in. You can join in however you wish. I'm using a single crochet, and then chain 6, and then in the base of the 6 chains do a slip stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and once again chain 6, but this time it's not very clear, this white thread, is it? So in the top of the single crochet and the side of the single crochet, do a slip stitch, and that gets the picot to lie quite nicely, like so. Then single crochet, chain 3, and then find your next loop, single crochet, chain 6, find the top of your single crochet, or you can go into that last or the first chain you made to the top of the single crochet, the side of that single crochet, pull through, and then single crochet, chain 6, again work into that first single crochet to close, and single crochet. Have a little look. This is how it's looking. If I didn't pop a single crochet here after the chain 6 and I fastened off, no, I think I did, it's fine. They remind me of little rabbit ears. Right, let's go now with another 3 chains and single crochet, and just repeat. This is it, 6 chains, to the top of your single crochet, and then into that little side leg, pull through, single crochet, chain 6, close the picot like so, and single crochet, getting ahead of myself again, and then 3 chains. And in your next loop, off you go again. Right, let's have a peep at this now. So that is the edging. Of course, it doesn't look very good because it's in a different colour, but I think you get the idea. You just work all the way around, and it isn't just a case of knowing exactly where to put these. It is by eye part of the way. And it's fine if you put a lot of 10 chain loops in here. I did when I first did it, and if you look carefully on the first video, you'll see that I haven't done it since. There were quite a few bunched up together, so it is up to yourselves. But thanks so much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoy making this lovely vintage scarf. So that is it. One more peek at the little picture, and take care. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.